opinion. I think there's three guys that I'm comfortable saying are three of the five best players ever. And it's Kareem, LeBron, and MJ. Kobe had no flaws.
I don't like talking about guys' flaws, but if we're talking about the greatest ever, we should be allowed to pick apart people's games. That's all I'm saying.
The internet exploded and Twitter went wild. All because one guy finally said what he truly saw with no filters and no fake smiles. Andre Iguodala crossed one of the biggest unspoken lines in modern basketball media. And watching JJ Redick scramble to clean it up in real time was unbelievable. This moment exposed exactly where today's hoops debates really stand. Because it wasn't one of those safe, polite podcast conversations where everyone nods and repeats the same recycled all-time takes. What was supposed to be a calm discussion about great players instantly shifted when Iguodala refused to play the soft media game, the second he switched gears. It became obvious why so many players stay quiet instead of speaking their mind.
Because everybody, when they talk about the most skilled players, the same guys always get brought up. It's Kyrie, it's Kobe, maybe Kevin Durant's in there. They don't talk about LeBron. They don't talk about Shaq, because to them, the best player is based on aesthetics, not necessarily performance and effectiveness.
Andre Iguodala built his entire career on being a defensive nightmare that elite scorers had to deal with. A guy whose job was to study superstars, find the cracks in their game, and shut them down with surgical precision. He went to war with Kobe Bryant, battled prime legends night after night, and earned his respect by literally solving the puzzle of stopping icons on the court. This isn't some fan tossing takes from his couch. This is a man dropping real intel from real NBA battles where every possession mattered and the stakes were massive. The conversation starts like any calm hoops discussion. Running through the usual all-time greats, Kareem gets his respect. LeBron's name comes up. And of course, Michael Jordan enters the conversation until Iguodala decides to take it somewhere deeper.
To really play hard, does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110.
His moment hit different because everyone in the room was nodding along, keeping things safe until he suddenly dropped something you could tell he'd been holding in for years, separating Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan into a level even other legends couldn't touch, calling them flawless. A word that instantly shifted the whole vibe as JJ Redick's brain went into overdrive, knowing exactly what Iguodala was implying. If Kobe and MJ were flawless, then others, including the guy JJ and half the media have been pushing as the GOAT, clearly weren't. And instead of arguing the actual point, JJ switched the entire debate toward longevity, championships, eras, and advanced stats because he couldn't challenge Iguodala's experience without exposing the narrative modern media protects. Yet Iguodala wasn't talking resumes or numbers. He was talking pure skill from a defender's perspective, explaining that Kobe and MJ had no weaknesses to attack elite footwork. Mid-range mastery, clutch free throws, unstoppable scoring from every spot, while LeBron, great as he is, has clear gaps like shaky late-game free throws, a jumper defenses live with, and clutch moments where he passed instead of taking shots Kobe or MJ would have embraced. And the reason this conversation explodes every time is because a decade of media storytelling has tried to crown LeBron undisputedly. So anyone pointing out real flaws threatens the whole narrative. But Iguodala comes from a world where you actually had to stop these guys in real time. And in that world, the difference is obvious. You can force LeBron into jumpers or pressure his free throws. But there is no real blueprint for stopping Kobe or Jordan, which is why the debate always runs to rings and stats instead of skill. And JJ's reaction wasn't just defending LeBron, but defending a whole analytics-based definition of greatness that clashes with Iguodala's eye-test reality. Because when greatness is defined by completeness, Kobe and MJ stand alone. A truth that makes people uncomfortable, but came straight from someone who guarded them for years, exposing how modern debates favor protecting favorites over honest analysis. And maybe that's why this moment blew up, because Iguodala drew a hard line no one else in media has the backbone to draw. Kobe and MJ on one side, everyone else on the other. leaving fans to decide whether they agree, disagree, or just can't handle the truth.
We come to practice, he's on one leg. Like he was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. Wow. And so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so he's like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit up? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the crap? I gotta be there.
I twist my ankle and I had a teammate, David Greenwood. He says, you twist your ankle, young fella, come over and sit with me. This is, you need to. I said, no, man, I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play, I want to win.
Andre Iguodala's moment hit hard because everyone in the room was nodding along, playing it safe, like nothing controversial was coming, until he suddenly dropped something you could tell he'd been holding in for years, separating Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan into a tier no other player could touch. Calling them flawless, a word that immediately changed the energy, sending JJ Redick into instant overdrive because he knew exactly what Iguodala was implying. If Kobe and MJ were flawless, then everyone else, including LeBron James, the guy half the media has been pushing as the GOAT for the past 5 years, obviously wasn't. And JJ couldn't argue the point without exposing the truth. So he scrambled to switch the conversation toward championships, longevity, eras, and advanced stats instead of addressing Iguodala's eye-test reality. But Iguodala wasn't talking numbers or resumes. He was talking pure basketball skill, the kind he learned by guarding legends night after night, studying every angle and never finding a crack in their games, where every possession mattered and every defensive adjustment counted. And the difference is crystal clear. Kobe and MJ had no weaknesses: elite footwork, mid-range mastery, post moves, finishing through contact, clutch free throws. A killer mentality, while LeBron, as great as he is, has gaps that are obvious: late-game free throws. A jumper defenders aren't scared of ball-handling mistakes under pressure. In clutch moments where he passed, instead of taking shots, Kobe or MJ would have instinctively taken. And this isn't hate. It's observable reality. The reason this debate explodes every time is because media narratives have spent a decade crowning LeBron as the undisputed GOAT, so anyone pointing out real flaws threatens the entire storyline. But Iguodala comes from a world where greatness is measured by skill, not stats. Where you ask, can I find a weakness? And when it came to Kobe and MJ, the answer was always no. There's no blueprint to stop them. Defenders have tried everything and failed. While LeBron has strategies against him: force jumpers, pressure free throws, make him settle for contested shots. He's still great, but predictable, and over a career, those small differences add up in huge moments. That's why every time the conversation moves to rings, stats, and longevity instead of skillets, because true flaws are uncomfortable to admit. Iguodala lived the game, guarded the best, and his verdict was simple. Kobe and MJ were flawless. Everyone else, including LeBron, was not. And the fact that saying this caused chaos online shows how protected our sports narratives have become. Fans want to be right, not truthful. They defend favorite players with stats and highlights instead of acknowledging reality. But Iguodala drew a line boldly and honestly. And maybe that's why this moment resonated so strongly. Kobe and MJ on one side, everyone else on the other, leaving it to fans to decide if perfection exists or if true greatness is rare, and forcing everyone to confront the hard truth about skill, flaws, and basketball legacy.